Imagine standing on a rooftop at sunrise, feeling the raw power of your own body lift you higher than any weight you could ever load onto a bar. That electric rush is the promise that drives millions of athletes into the world of calisthenics and the ironclad halls of weight training. One day you see a gymnast flawlessly execute a handstand push-up. The next you hear a lifter grunt as the barbell rips past 200 pounds. Both moments scream strength, yet the paths to get there feel like opposite universes. What if I told you the line between them is thinner than you think? I've spent the last 2 years dancing between park benches and squat racks, chasing the same goal from two very different angles. In the early days, I was a pure bodyweight enthusiast, hanging from pull-up bars in a downtown playground, perfecting the rhythm of each rep like a prayer. Then my curiosity pulled me into the weight room, where plates clanged and the scent of iron filled the air. The question that kept echoing in my mind was simple. Should I commit to the purest form of movement, or should I keep loading the bar and chase bigger numbers? In the next few minutes, we'll break down the science, weigh the pros and cons, and give you a clear decision tree so you can choose the program that fits your goals like a glove. First, let's define what calisthenics really is. At its core, it's a training method that uses only the weight of your own body to create resistance. Think of push-ups, dips, pull-ups, and the more advanced feats like muscle-ups or front levers. The beauty of it lies in leverage and balance. You become a living machine, learning how every joint and muscle works together to move you through space. Its roots go back to ancient Greek gymnasiums, where athletes trained on sandpits and stone platforms, and today it lives on in street workout parks worldwide. The main benefits are functional strength, joint stability, and a heightened sense of body awareness. Because you're constantly fighting gravity, you develop coordination that translates to everyday activities from lifting groceries to climbing stairs without a second thought. Calisthenics also shines in its accessibility. All you need is a sturdy bar or a sturdy surface, and you can train anywhere, a park, a living room, or even a hotel room while traveling. The progression system is built around skill, not just numbers. You start with a basic push-up, then move to a decline version, then to a planche, each step demanding more control and strength. This grease-the-groove approach, where you practice the movement frequently with submaximal effort, trains neural pathways and builds muscle endurance. However, the method isn't without limits. When you aim for pure hypertrophy, that massive textbook-like muscle growth, body weight alone can hit a plateau, especially for larger athletes. Adding external load is possible, but it often requires creative equipment like weighted vests or dip belts, which can be less straightforward than simply loading a bar. Now, let's turn to weight training, the classic pillar of modern strength science. Weight training revolves around external resistance, typically in the form of dumbbells, barbells, and machines. The fundamental principle is progressive overload. You increase the weight, the repetitions, or the volume over time to force the muscles to adapt. This method gives you precise control over the load, making it easy to track progress with clear numbers on the plate. The result is often faster gains in muscle size and maximal strength, especially when you follow proven protocols like the 3 sets of 8 to 12 reps scheme or the 5 sets of 5 heavy lifts for power. Weight training also offers a wide variety of exercises that can isolate specific muscle groups. Want to sculpt your quads without engaging your hamstrings? A leg extension will do the job? Need to target the upper chest? An incline bench press isolates that region. This isolation capability makes it a favorite for bodybuilders who chase symmetry and definition. Moreover, the structured nature of a weight program provides a clear roadmap. You know exactly how many sets, reps, and pounds you need to hit each week, which can be motivating for goal-oriented athletes. Yet, the iron world has its drawbacks too. Training in a gym can be expensive, and the reliance on machines or heavy equipment can limit your ability to train outside those walls. Some critics argue that lifting heavy weights can develop imbalanced strength, favoring prime movers while neglecting stabilizer muscles, which are essential for joint health. Additionally, the repetitive nature of certain lifts can increase the risk of overuse injuries if proper form and recovery are not prioritized. At this point, you might be wondering which path aligns with your own aspirations. If you crave functional movement, love training in any environment, and enjoy mastering skill-based progressions, calisthenics offers a playground of endless possibilities. If your primary goal is to build massive muscle, lift the heaviest weights possible, and track progress with exact numbers, weight training provides the most efficient route. But what if you don't have to choose? That's the fascinating part we'll explore next, where we blend the two worlds for a hybrid approach that maximizes strength, muscle, and mobility. If this is blowing your mind, hit that subscribe button, and let's keep exploring together. So let's dive into the hybrid model that lets you reap the best of both worlds. Imagine a routine where you start the day with a series of pull-ups, dips, and pistol squats, then transition to a barbell squat and a bench press later in the session. This combination not only keeps your workouts fresh, but it also forces your nervous system to adapt to a broader spectrum of stimuli, which can accelerate strength gains and improve muscle coordination. The first principle of blending is to treat each modality as a complement rather than a competitor. Calisthenics excels at building core stability, joint integrity, and movement patterns that translate to real-life tasks. Weight training, on the other hand, shines when you want to overload a specific muscle group beyond what your own body weight can provide. By pairing a skill-focused movement with a heavy load, you train the same muscle fibers in both a functional and a maximal strength context. A practical way to structure this is to allocate separate focus blocks within the week. For example, you could designate 2 days as skill-heavy. These are the sessions where the primary goal is to progress on a handstand, a front lever, or a muscle-up. Keep the volume moderate, perhaps 3 to 5 sets of each movement, and rest enough to preserve technique quality. On the remaining 2 days, you flip the script and prioritize barbell or dumbbell work. Here you aim for classic strength ranges, 3 sets of 8 to 12 reps for hypertrophy, or 5 sets of 5 for pure power. By alternating the emphasis, you avoid the fatigue that could sabotage a complex bodyweight skill while still providing the progressive overload needed for muscle growth. Another synergy comes from using weighted calisthenics. Adding a dip belt to your pull-ups or a weighted vest to your push-ups bridges the gap between pure bodyweight and traditional lifting. This method lets you keep the movement pattern you love while still challenging the muscles with additional load. Start with a modest weight, perhaps 5 to 10 pounds, and increase gradually as your form stays solid. The same principle applies to weighted squats. You can perform a pistol squat while holding a kettlebell, merging the balance demand of the single leg stance with the strength stimulus of extra mass. Don't forget about the role of mobility and recovery. Because you're asking your body to perform a wider range of motions, the joints will appreciate a dedicated stretch and foam roll routine. Spend at least 15 minutes after each workout moving through hip openers, shoulder dislocates, and thoracic rotations. This not only reduces soreness, but it also preserves the range of motion that is essential for advanced calisthenics moves and for maintaining proper form under heavy loads. A common mistake people make when trying to combine both styles is to overload the schedule without allowing for adaptation. The nervous system can only handle so much new skill acquisition and heavy lifting in a single week. If you notice that your pull-up numbers are stalling or your bench press feels unusually shaky, it might be a sign that you're training too many high-intensity sessions back-to-back. In that case, dial back the volume on one of the modalities, or insert an active recovery day with light cardio, mobility work, or a yoga flow. Listening to the feedback your body gives you is crucial for sustainable progress. Now, let's talk about tracking progress. Because you're juggling 2 different training languages, you'll need a hybrid log. For the calisthenics portion, record the highest skill level achieved, the number of reps at a given difficulty, and the time you can hold a static position. For the weight training side, note the exact load, sets, and reps for each lift. Over weeks, you'll start to see patterns. Perhaps a stronger core from your handstand practice translates into a tighter bench press, or a deeper squat improves your pistol squat depth. Those crossover benefits are the real proof that the hybrid approach works. If you're still wondering whether you should start with one style and add the other later, consider your immediate goals. If you're a beginner looking to build a solid foundation, start with basic bodyweight movements and incorporate light dumbbells or kettlebells early on. Once you're comfortable with the mechanics, introduce the barbell lifts. Conversely, if you already have a solid lifting background but feel your movement quality is lacking, begin integrating calisthenics skill work and see how it enhances your lifts. The key is to progress in a way that feels manageable and enjoyable for you. To wrap things up, the myth that you must pick a single path is just that, a myth. By thoughtfully combining the functional elegance of calisthenics with the raw power of weight training, you create a more balanced, resilient, and capable physique. This hybrid strategy not only maximizes muscle size and strength, but it also improves coordination, flexibility, and everyday performance. So whether you're aiming to dominate a street workout park, break a personal record on the squat rack, or simply feel stronger in daily life, the blended approach gives you the toolbox to get there. What do you think? Have you tried mixing bodyweight moves with heavy lifts, or are you still on the fence about it? Drop a comment below and let's discuss the challenges and wins you've experienced. If you found this deep dive helpful, give the video a thumbs up, share it with a friend who's debating the same question, and don't forget to subscribe for more evidence-based fitness breakdowns. Together, we'll keep exploring the science behind training so you can keep pushing your limits with confidence. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next episode.